Salem Historical Society goes back to the 1950s. It was set up to maintain a collection of artifacts that belonged to the citizens of Salem that were given to it for keeping and showing to the rest of the citizenry. This building goes back to 1738. It was completed in 1738 as part of a program to have a new parish here in Salem away from Haverhill. The town hall is the oldest continuously used public meeting house in the state of New Hampshire.
Has the building always been there?
No, it hasn't actually. The building actually was on the other side of the common. And it was moved to its present location in 1836. The building actually was located in the way of a road that was going to be put through presently Bridge Street, a road and a bridge over the Spigot River. The Spigot River is just on the other side of where we are.
All right, great.
So they wanted to move the building, and they did this in 1836 with teams of oxen. They jacked the building up, put it on logs, which were used as rollers, and they pulled the building over to its present location.
And they did that because they wanted to make access to a bridge?
The building was in the way of where they wanted to put the bridge over.
Oh, wow.
So they got the building out of the way.
Yeah.
And it seems that this was a common thing to do in those days. They were moving a lot of buildings. If you look along the wall that's between us and the burying ground here, there used to be a road. That road followed the wall. So it went in front of the old town hall, and they took that road out, moved it in back of us where 97 is now. First wall that was put up on the cemetery, which dates back to 1735, it was decided to put a cemetery here, but they put up a wooden fence wall in the position that the stone wall is here. That kind of rotted away, and they put up this wall in 1770, just before the American Revolution. This wall has been here ever since. Wow.
We're going to be talking more about the folks, the residents of the cemetery here, mostly.
This is where actually the founding fathers and mothers of the town are interred. It's not a scary place. There's some interesting stories to be told here. The oldest record that we have of anybody being buried here was Ebenezer Ewins. He was buried here in 1751.
Okay, why don't we go on over there and take a look?
I don't know where he's buried.
I see. That's the story.
Okay, the earliest ones, and we'll get around to seeing those, go back to about 1860. The latest burial was done here in 1905, with the exception of the veterans that are buried in the back. This is the gravestone of Reverend Abner Bailey. Salem wasn't always a separate town. Salem used to be part of Haverhill, Massachusetts. We were the northern parish, or the northern part of the parish of Haverhill in the late 1600s, early 1700s. In 1730, the townspeople here basically got tired of going down to Haverhill to go to their religious meetings. And so they kept petitioning Haverhill to let them have their own meeting house up here.
Wow.
And in 1736, they were allowed to have their own meeting house. In 1736, building began on our town hall. The first minister that was assigned to the meeting house here in Salem was Abner Bailey. Reverend Bailey was here for over 25 years.
And he spelled it B-A-Y-L-E-Y.
That's correct, B-A-Y-L-E-Y.
So there was no revolution or anything from Haverhill. We want to split from Haverhill. It was more a matter of traveling time.
Yeah, that people
it was inconvenient.
People just didn't want to travel all that distance, especially in the wintertime.
And then it became a natural division, I guess.
Yes, it became a natural division. In the 1750s, New Hampshire became a state, and we became part of New Hampshire rather than staying with Haverhill.
Yeah, right.
This is the interment site of John Ober. John Ober was a lieutenant in the town militia, amongst other things, but in 1795 they set up the town government, and he was one of the first selectmen that was elected. So here's his tomb. He died in 1767. He was a selectman in 1795, in 1800, and in 1801. One of our town founding fathers.
And you don't happen to know what that design is?
Well, that's the Angel of Death.
I see.
You'll see that as a common design in a lot of the tombstones.
Mm-hmm.
The other common one are these chalices that you see on Joseph Hull's. The ones up at the top with the willow tree.
Yeah.
Those are rest in peace kind of signs. You see a lot of those.
I see some that are starting to crumble.
Oh yes. Notice that the ones that look the best are actually made out of granite. New Hampshire is a granite state.
That's right.
The other ones that are crumbling away are marble, and marble makes a pretty lousy tombstone for long term.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are just marked with stones. We've lost track of who's actually buried there.